All right, y'all. We're gonna have to get these toxic energies corrected because the world, as we know it right now, it runs on a lot of toxic energy, and a lot of people have succumbed to it in a sense to where it's too easy to go into those toxic behavior patterns rather than taking the time to appreciate and maybe have a little bit more reverence for the moment before taking the short route or the low-hanging fruit and choosing to go into that playing out that toxic experience or ego trip or whatever. So I say this to say that, like, we have to, those divine feminine and masculine people out there, the ones that out there that are in tune with the universe, enlightened, maybe operating from the cosmic mind more, those of us that are, there's at least one of us in every family, or at least throughout, there's, y'all know, usually there's like one person in the family or so who's a little bit more of the mediator, who's like the one that has to kind of deal with everyone's problems but doesn't add to the problems, but usually has to fix, and everybody kind of goes to them. If you're kind of one of those type of people, you're definitely one of these people, you know what I mean? And it's not only those kind of people, but I'm speaking to y'all. I'm speaking to the people who are the peacekeepers. I'm speaking to the people who don't cause problems. They cause solutions. We're the ones that make solutions, not problems, right? We're the ones that want people to be together. We're the ones that see the unity of it all. And we're just like, yo, why are we making this so difficult for ourselves? Why are we constantly finding things to fight about? Why are we constantly finding things to separate ourselves over? It makes no sense. And for us, we come from a place where God, we really believe in God. We really, truly follow God with all of our hearts, to the point where we'll walk off a damn bridge. You know what I mean? Because we believe, and we want to believe in the magic of the universe. Like, we want there to be more to this, and that there is. And when you find it out, it's like there's nothing that can stop you. Because if you have that heart in you, like a child that has that wonder, and you're like, wow, like, I wonder what the world has for me. Like, anything is possible. I can do it all. And then when you got God on your side, and the God's children, he shows you, yeah, that's actually what's going on. Like, you can't do everything. And for the fact that you choose to believe in me and put your faith in me, now we can, because I'm the one that gives you access to that infinite possibility. And people are able to travel all over the world and do what they love and support themselves and others. God's in the mix. God's all in the middle of it. You know what I mean? So I say this to say, y'all, we got to start putting our foot down. And I said this in another video, but we got to put our foot down for real. Because yes, we are God's children. And yes, we are here to bring peace. But people are disturbing the peace so much. And we've come to a point in our society where we kind of just keep our mouths closed and keep moving. Because honestly, sometimes it's just a better way to go about it. Because we can't take time out of our day every day to deal with somebody whenever they have a bad attitude or whenever they're trying to cause a problem, because that's every day for some people. Some people are looking for stuff. And if they can't find something, they're going to dig something up from the past, or they'll make one. You know what I mean? So we have to get to a point, y'all, where we got to tell these people off for real. Like, not like, hey, blah, 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 da, da, da. But we got to correct this stuff when we see it. And we got to call this stuff out. When people are trying to throw shade and come at people sideways, or try to do some passive aggressive stuff or whatever, like, I'm at a point now where I'm just calling everything out. And I'm not being mean. I'm not having an attitude. I'm not being somebody who's grouchy or, nasty to people at all. It's not an opportunity to be rude to people whatsoever. But I'm done being a people pleaser, is what I'm saying. Because when you allow people to kind of think that they can say things to you in ways that they don't want things said to them, there's a very obvious blatant imbalance in that relationship. It's obviously a point where one person thinks that they can kind of unload and project onto someone, and then somebody else has to just deal with it and process all that information and just kind of carry on with their day, when that's not the way things work. Us God's children, the ones that have been light workers out here, the ones that have been holding our tongue and really, really in the trenches doing it for real, I think it's time that we we don't make ourselves small anymore. We don't have to make ourselves small anymore. God's protecting us. God's out there, and if anything, we are the ones that have to set the tone now, because God knows when we are out there and we get the mic or we get the opportunity to speak up or have the floor, we know we're not the ones that are going to try to cause something or say a little shade or like, hey, oh, I got the floor now. Hey, let me put my little ego in it and try to make this about me, with the family, or like, right, when people start to think highly of what you have to say, then you want to, some people start to take credit for it or be like, oh, well, I was the one that did this. I was the one that called the meeting. So like, if this wouldn't happen without me, you know how people are. People are always doing some weird, slick stuff to try to like put their ego in it. And for those of us that see that, for those of us that understand those things, we're not the kind of people to bring that into a situation. We're the type of people to call that shit out. And I used to not call it out so much, but I'm calling all of it out. Anytime I see people throw their little ego in there and try to be a little this or take a little credit for that, or try to say something to try to, make themselves feel a little bit better by putting somebody else down, I'm calling it out. I'm not calling it out to be like, hey, you're mean and da. No, I'm calling it out to say, look, you see that? You see what you just did? You see how you just called? Sorry, my bad. I'm trying to come up with a situation right now. And I'm saying like, can't you see that what you just said to him was exactly the same thing that you said you didn't want to do to people? So why do you think it's okay for you to do that to somebody else? It's kind of one of those things where I'm not coming at people and I'm not cussing them out and calling them out their names. I'm just I'm checking their logic, and I'm questioning them and making them feel silly for coming up with, for behaving in that certain way when it's obvious. Because we live in a society now where people are overlooking the obvious. They'd rather just hear the words, and they'll take whatever, and they'll miss whatever, right? So it's like you'll have some people who let's see, let's switch this up. Like some people, they just want an ear, right? Some people just want an ear for them to listen to, right? They'll the same person that they will talk mess about, if that person is the only person that will listen to them in a room, they're gonna talk to them, and that person is gonna be their new friend, and they're gonna be like, oh, like this person's on my side because I can talk to him. When they, and we all know that person they were just talking about, a day ago or whatever ago, right? But you know how these people operate. It's like they only care about how they feel in the moment, and like they'll say whatever they need to say in the moment to get by. They'll say whatever they need to say in the moment to whoever to try to make a case. It could be the most. They'll lie. They'll literally do whatever they need to say. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. And then the day later, 2 days later, already be back on the same thing, right? Oh, this is the last time. Like y'all, we know these characters. We all have people like this in our lives. So I don't want to say this too much and get too much into it. But I'm saying it's time we start calling people out. It's time we start calling out people's logic and be like, all right, y'all, are you really good? Are you somebody do you really fear God? Like, are you really somebody who's here for the good of people? Or are you just here to talk mess and be mean and be nasty and just get your way, or throw a tantrum whenever you don't get your way, or just kind of be in your ego? It's like, we got to start questioning people. Whose side are you on? What side are you on? Are you trying to be a demon? Are you trying to be an angel? Because everybody wants to be a demon nowadays. And for me, that's not my shit. I don't get down like that. And I don't think anybody should. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying, oh, anybody who says they're on demon time, like, it's a bad thing, whatever. I get it. Sometimes it's just slang. Sometimes it's just a word. But I'm talking about the real stuff. I'm talking about people who really get kicked sometimes out of other people, bringing other people down or making other people feel a certain way. Or, it's just, or some people who just need other people's attention in order for them to justify their emotions. Like, oh, I need you to listen to me. I need somebody to listen to me. It's just like, those kind of things, those kind of energies are like demonic because they're distracting. It's like they need to feed off of somebody else's attention. They need to feed off of somebody else being participating in what they're doing, because they're not doing anything for themselves. Most of the times these people aren't building anything. They're not creating anything new. They're not trying to add more value to something. All they're doing is picking apart what's already there, already trying to take apart what's already there. But a lot of times these people don't even have solutions or don't even have fully thought out processes. But they'll be the ones that are trying to run the conversation and stuff. And we got to just call this stuff out, y'all. 2025, let's there's no more playing dumb. We're not playing dumb. You either play smart or you get smart or you get left behind. And if you choose not to wise up, I don't got time for it. Because the people out there, the higher I get, the more high level people that I talk to, they have respect for one another. At least they have enough respect for themselves to not play themselves in certain ways. A lot of people, without anything that they've built or without anything that they created or doing on themselves, it's not always the case. Some people just don't know how to respect themselves or other people or what's going on around them, or even enough to pay attention to what's going on around them. So all my angels out there, all my other angels out there who are here permeating, setting the tone of balance and correcting those things that are, trying to subtly separate and destroy, the harmony and the balance of things. Shout out to y'all, because, this God's on our side. God's with us, and we need to start correcting stuff. We got to start calling stuff out for real. In 2025, either are you with Team God or not? What's the intentions here? What are you trying to do? Is this about you? Is this about your celebrity? Is this about whatever emotions, your ego? Or is this about the team? Are you trying to move things forward? So I know what it is. Take care, y'all. Y'all stay wise. Keep that discernment high. Stay present. Stay mindful. Just do all the things that God gave you. God gave you all of this so that you can have discernment, so that you can be wise, and so that you can make better decisions. Let's not squander these gifts of consciousness and the focus and awareness. Let's lean into it. So that way we don't have to worry about people. People have to come correct when they come to us. Because they'll know, if I come to this person, I got to make sure my facts are in order. Because they're going to call my shit out. And it's like that with a lot of high-level people. You can't just come to them in any sort of way. You got to come together with your shit. Nicki Minaj. You know how she is. If you come to Nicki Minaj and your shit ain't together, or your shit's kind of off, she's going to pick that shit up right away, but call you out on it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. As us angels, we got to take that energy and not be rude, not be mean, but we got to protect our energy. We got to protect our energy. We got to set boundaries. We got to let people know, hey, I see what you just did. If you think you can talk about that person behind their back with me around here, you're in the wrong place. And if anything, that says more about you than it says about them, because you're the kind of person to talk mess about somebody behind their back, and it's showing me more of your true colors. So we're calling people out. That's just what it is. I'm calling people out. Not to be mean, not to be rude, but whenever I see a demon, I'm slaying that shit, just like Michael. I got the spirit. If you're close to me and you're on that kind of timing, I promise you, I will make your ass clock out. All right. Peace.